Jets fans, welcome. Here we are, breaking records in the middle of an historic season. Welcome to the show. I am Green Bean, and you are now walking down through the entryway into episode 185 of Green Bean's Jets Pod. Once again, that's me. Hello, Green Bean. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad. Look, I say this all the time.
Milk thumbs.
And, look, I mean it all the time. But I got to say it more than I'd like because it's the only good thing we have. It's, I'm glad you're here because if it wasn't for you guys, I'd be alone in this. And it's like, at least we have each other. Like, again, I always value that. Even though some of you guys are plumb crazy, I always value our fan connection. But it's even more apparent to me because, man, there's not much else to hang your hat on around here, is there? It gets more and more difficult, I must say, more and more difficult every single year, every week. Look, if you've been here before, you know me. I like to talk history. I like to take us down memory lane. I like to use past experiences to, highlight and or compare to what's going on now and all that kind of stuff. I'm old, so I got memories galore. I remember a lot of stuff, Yes, there are older Jets fans than I am, but a lot of you guys, man, as I tick along here on this clock of life, there's a lot of you guys that are younger than me, which is crazy because the Jets just have been so bad for so long that I'm really surprised that there are any more of us like popping out. Obviously you got the family connection. You got Pop. Dad's a Jets fan, so when you were younger, you see Dad getting all passionate about something and just naturally you want to be like Dad or connect with your father and all that. Maybe it's Mom, And so you get Jets fans that way. But the best way to get fans and the way that fandoms become big and national and all that is because they do things that excite people and attract people toward that team. And the Jets haven't done that in quite a long time. Obviously, the last couple of years we had Aaron Rodgers over here, so that... that brought, I don't know if it brought fans, but it brought some energy. We had the BYU connection for a little while with Zach Wilson, right? When we drafted Zach Wilson, we had all these BYU fans that came over, and they became, oh my God, oh boy, did they become annoying, How badly the Jets were ruining their golden boy, Which, hey, maybe it's true. Maybe not. I didn't like Zach as a prospect, so there's that. But, hey, they got a point. They had this good-looking, young, all the hope in the world kid coming into the NFL, strong arm, good legs, the whole thing. And he just comes here, and we're like, through the meat grinder. That's what we do. Who knows? Him, us, chicken, egg, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. I don't know. But other than that, so we get little drips and drabs of fans like that. But the younger fans, I don't know. We had a fan on our live stream today, as you guys know, or this week for the game against the Cowboys. We do our live reaction and watch party with the great Frankie from Flatbush and Jets Chaos, and myself. We do it every week for years now. There was a fan on the chat in the chat on the stream for this game. He said, I've been a fan since 2010, and I just can't take it anymore. I'm out. And you think about a guy like that, who, number one, I feel for you, buddy. Truly, I do. He came on board right at the end of the Rex Ryan massive, influx of just crazy positive energy here. The whole thing about 2009 and 10 was just amazing. But to get sucked in then, 2010, the back end of a very short window, right? 2 AFC championship games. You see those guys, getting real crazy, playing well and becoming this team. And remember, we were flying around and doing all this stuff. To come in then get sucked in by that Rex Ryan energy. There he is, this guy right there. The Rex Ryan energy. And then to just watch this for the last 15 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's even worse. At least I had, like, the Sack Exchange and Kenny O'Brien and Altoon and Wesley Walker. Then we had the Parcells years, you know? And then, look, the Herm, Mangini years. They were good, you know? We didn't get to the Super Bowl or anything, but we made the playoffs. 10-win seasons. Herm won the division. We beat the living hell out of, the Pack, the Colts, I think it was, in the playoffs. Like, a young Chad Pennington versus a young Peyton Manning, and we goose-egged them, shut them out, right? It was crazy. So we had some good years there. But, man, to come on board in 2010, just a crazy, crazy experience. You know what I'm saying, man? So we had another loss this week, and I think, I've been maintaining throughout this first quarter of the season that maybe it's not as bad as it looks. Obviously the Buffalo game, there's no sugar for that one. We got beat up from the second it started to the second it ended. It almost looked like the Jets showed up to that game. All right, we just can't wait to go home. I can't wait till this one's over. That's what it looked like. They showed up that way. It was very little on both sides of the ball, or all three facets of the game. It just looked very, very hopeless. But week one, we should have won it, in my opinion, and we could have won it, and it was a very exciting game, a lot of hope. Week two, Buffalo, like I said, no good. Week three, you got the Buccaneers, and backup quarterback Justin Fields is in the concussion protocol. We had a very exciting fourth quarter, 3 touchdowns, including the Will McDonald field goal block, returned all the way for a touchdown. He blocks it, picks it up, runs it back for a touchdown. Very, very exciting. Couldn't hold on, and we lose it. And that one, you look at like a backup quarterback, pick 6. That's really the difference in the game, the whole thing. You got Miami. It was ugly. But again, we're a fumbled kick away from victory there too. Obviously there's lots of variables, but I'm just breaking it down to brass tacks here. So it's like, look, it's ugly. There's a lot to gripe about. But you could also look at things through the positive lens. We're like, for years the Jets were known for not being able to put up any points. It would be field goals. We'd get 1 touchdown a game, if that. The defense would be holding teams to 9 points, no touchdowns, and we still lose, that kind of stuff. And we're putting up 25, 32 points, all 27. And it's like, okay, well, maybe there's something to build on here. And this week against Dallas, we do the same thing that we did the week before. We come out with this really great opening drive, and we get to the 1 yard line, essentially, and we can't punch it in. And then we get another great drive, and Breece Hall's running like an animal. He had 8.1 yards a carry. Great day for Breece Hall, really. He had a bunch more in the through the air. What did he have? He had another 42 yards in the air. So Breece Hall, he had 113 yards on the ground, 42 yards in the air. He had a great game. But what is the biggest thing is that he fumbles as we're driving. It's in the red zone again, just like the week before with Braylon Allen fumbling on the 3 yard line as he's going in for a touchdown. We look at this stuff, and that's positive, right? Obviously, the fumble and the sloppy, you got to fix that stuff, and it's aggravating. But at least you could say, okay, we cleaned that up, and we got something here. It really wasn't. Dude, Dallas was playing with lots of injuries on their O-line. We couldn't do anything. Their defense is like the worst in the league, and we couldn't do anything. Their pass rush is looking like, like Micah Parsons was still there. Crazy. So anyway, it just was one of those days where you start to kind of scratch your head and go, man, what's going on here? What do we got? And I know Jets fans were frustrated, and people who like to be positive like myself, I try. I do my damnedest, man, to try to be positive. Sometimes you just got nothing. You got nothing in the tank. You could say Mason Taylor. Nice to see him get involved. And yes, some of his catches were later in that garbage time period where we're getting some points and making it look like it almost could, might, potentially, could have been a game. but it's not. But he was doing stuff in the early going as well when the game was most certainly still a game. So it's good. This is good for the young buck, because I believe he's a damn good tight end. I think he's going to be everything that we want him to be. Second round pick in the draft this year. I love it. Slam dunk, But as you look at this stuff, it's harder and harder to find positives. And Aaron Glenn, you can see his demeanor on the sideline. He's doing the thing we saw so many people do here. There's lots of gifts out there. Todd Bowles is doing it. Robert Saleh is doing it. Aaron Rodgers is doing it. That thing, we're just like, they got nothing. I got no answers. I can't make these guys tackle. I can't make them catch the ball. I can't stop them from dropping. They fumble. I can't make them get a turnover. I'm not out there. I'm teaching them everything I know to teach them. I'm doing all the drills. I'm doing the accountability. Blah, 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 blah. I'm doing it all. I'm at a loss. 4 guys had a shot to tackle that guy. It's just to run up the middle. Why did he run for 66 yards with 12 seconds left in the half? Why can't we stop him? He's just... I don't know. I don't know what to do. So, that's what we got this week. And that's what we have to look at. So we're going to look at the game a little bit, talk about these players. Where are we with this Aaron Glenn character? Does he have a shot? Is he just a waste of time? And then in the Intelligent Gripe this week, we'll get into what could it look like. The 0-5 Jets, if they get to 0, what will it be? It's like week 8, week 9, something like that, where the trade deadline is up. If we're 0-8, are we talking fire sale? And even if we're 1-7 or something along those lines, are we talking fire sale? And if we are talking fire sale, what does it look like? Who does Aaron Glenn really believe could be a part of the future? And who does he think, man, this guy, he's got talent. He's a player. He's not a player for me. He's not going to help us. I'm not doing this. And then if the decision is made to go that way, what value do players have? Let's take a look at that today. Let's take a little look at what value they could have. I don't want to jump all the way to mock drafts or anything like that just yet. But man, it's time to start thinking. That much is for sure. So before we dig into everything, let's remind you of the amazing Sleeper app, everybody. You think you know football? Well, try to turn your football knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday, everybody. Just download the Sleeper app and pick more or less on your favorite players. With more stats than any other daily fantasy app, you choose 2 players or more for that matter. Just choose 2 or more of your favorite players, pregame or live, which is the part that I like about it. Pick more or less from the predicted stats, and you could win up to 100 times your money if your picks win. Use the promo code GreenBean, and they're going to give you up to a $100 match on your first deposit. You deposit 70, they match 70. You deposit 100, they match 100. But now we're going to also add this $20 bonus for new players. What could be better than that? You get the $100 match, you get the extra $20, and it's only to be a part of the best sports app out there, period. I say it's time. You've been thinking about it. Pull the trigger. Thanks to Sleeper for hanging out with us. Take advantage of that amazing deal. Use that promo code GreenBean. The link's in the description. I made it as easy as could be for you. And thank you, Sleeper, for hanging out with us. Man, let me ask you a question. If I told you, hey, look, at the end of the day, Justin Fields was going to go 32 for 46. He's going to drop back 46 times. He's going to connect on 32 of them for 283 yards and 2 touchdowns, 0 picks. What would you think? You go, wow, all right, good day. But we're doing the thing that we have been doing all year, which is to accumulate a lot of yards and even points for that matter, make the game interesting in that fourth quarter. It's been happening all year. Not game one. Game one was very much a back and forth kind of a battle with the Xavier Gibson fumbled kick return being the difference because they scored a touchdown. We kicked it off, they kicked it off, fumbled right in our own territory, 25-yard line, whatever it was, and they just real quick scored again. It was like that momentum. So 14 points in like 10 seconds almost. And that flipped the whole game around because the rest of the game just went more back and forth, just like it needed a 60-yard field goal, the whole thing. That game's different. These last bunch of games, very much the same type of a story. And you saw that again this week against the Dallas Cowboys, which was the game was poopy. Can we just say it? I know, I hate to use profanity, but it was poopy. Poopy, everybody. And Justin Fields, look, I can definitely put some on the coaching, and the offensive line, which I thought played well for a lot of the games, definitely broke down and just became very porous, very sieve-like. He holds the ball far too long. He's got to make a decision. He's very indecisive. But on top of that, the line wasn't helping him, especially that second half. I thought they did a pretty poor job protecting him in the second half. And then you got the other side of it, which is, I don't know, we're struggling to get open. Not Garrett Wilson. He looks like he's open more times than not. Which if you had a quarterback that could take advantage of that, was really confident to just laser it in there. In the NFL, if they have a step, that's open. As we call that, NFL open. You know what I mean? He's got a step on him. Zip it in there. There was the one play, Garrett Wilson down the sideline in the first half. He had 2 steps. Justin Fields just had to drop it in there. He threw it about 2 yards, 3 yards too far. Garrett Wilson couldn't get there, but that was a walk-in touchdown, everybody. That was a walk-in touchdown. Got the Breece Hall fumble. So there's a lot of shooting ourselves in the foot. Breece Hall, very famously now, said it last week, when the other team shoots themselves in the foot, we come back and shoot ourselves in the face. Now, it just so happened that he was a part of that this week with the big fumble, but it really is accurate. No matter what we do, whatever positivity we have, because we can move the ball at times. And in the second half, the defense came out, looked like they stiffened up a bit, forced them to punt a couple of times, and then the offense, we just can't get it going when the defense is on. We can't get everything to kind of be symmetrical and work together. We just can't do it. And it's tough. Whenever this side's, okay, we're doing well, the other side's doing the shoot themselves in the face thing. And then they stiffen up, and now this side's, oh, sorry, we're not well. But overall, I'm going to tell you what it is. And Aaron Glenn said it in his presser today. I've been saying it for weeks. I've been saying it for years. I'm going to say it again. The Jets are quitters. I don't think they know they're quitters. And we have this other weird kind of paradigm going on where they're fighting till the end. That's how we're getting these fourth quarter comeback-y kind of situations, the extra yards, the extra touchdowns, make it in the game. I mean, look, 3 games in a row, at least 2. I think it's 3. We did onside kicks. What does that tell you? That tells you we're on our way back. It's the end of the game. We're running out of time. We got to get that ball back. But if we do, this is a game. You know what I mean? So we got that going on. So it's like they are fighting till the end, but they're also quitting way too early. It's like they kind of recapture the gumption and they start to do it. It's bizarre, quite frankly. But here's the thing, man. The overarching issue, the biggest issue, and Aaron Glenn, the way he said it, I'll paraphrase, but he said, when something happens negatively, there's a thought process of, oh no. What we have to get to is, okay, it's a challenge. Okay, this happened. How do we get, coming right back, like we got to play hard, stiffen up, come respond to it. And what we've been doing is something happens and it's like we feel it as a collective. Well, there it goes. The bottom's falling out again. And everybody just kind of wears that heavy weight on them as if, okay, well, it's over. And it's not over yet. You can see it change in them. Whether it's the defense and they just stop tackling, they just stop playing hard, or the offense, they're just not running their routes. The offensive line stops blocking. The quarterback just looks fucking lost. Whatever it might be, it happens all over the place. But Aaron Glenn pointed to it, and he put it on himself. He said, I have to figure out how to get these guys past that. And it's a great thing. Like most of these pressers they're annoying, these post-game pressers. They're aggravating, they're annoying. You kind of just, you're like, all right, they're saying the same stupid stuff over and over and over again. But I liked what he said today. And it's not that I like, it's not that I believe, oh, there it is. He said exactly the thing that's going to fix. But I like that he's accurately depicting the actual issue. It's not a fumble in a vacuum. It's not quarterback play in a vacuum. It's not the defense in a vacuum. It's everything, but because of the overall mindset, which is, oh no, here it goes again. And Jets fans feel it. We can feel it in the stadium. We've been talking about that for years. You can feel it in the stadium. You can feel it through the TV. You can see it. You're like, there it is. Here we go. We have it, they have it. And how do we change that? The truth is that some of these guys, as long as they're going to wear green, white, black, gray, whatever it is we're putting out there that day, the Jets helmet, as long as they're wearing it, they're going to be quitters. They just don't know how to be a winner here anymore. They're tainted. They're polluted. It's over. And that might be some of our greats, like a Quinnen Williams, maybe a Sauce Gardner, maybe some of the guys that are a little bit more mid-tier, maybe the Jamie and Sherwoods, the Quincy Williams of the world. Maybe Jermaine Johnson. I don't know what's up with Jermaine Johnson. We'll have to figure that one out. That's probably a different scenario. But do you understand? It's like look, for example, just as an example, maybe Quinnen Williams, who is a very, very good player. He's top 3, top 5 defensive tackle in the NFL every single year. Gotten an all-pro nod, all that. Been to the Pro Bowl, everything else. If he's a Jet, we might have seen his ceiling. But if he goes to the Rams, the Chargers, let's say, the Niners, maybe the Ravens or whoever, so a team that doesn't have the thick muck of loseritis just all over you, maybe he goes somewhere and that feeling, that quit, that, oh no, here it goes, the bottom's falling out again. Maybe if he goes somewhere else, he doesn't do that anymore. But as long as he's here, and I don't know if that's Quinnen per se, I'm just using him as a potential example. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he will never succeed here. And maybe Aaron Glenn can figure it out, but there's a lot more work to do here than the simple process of, we'll bring in a new system, bring in a new coordinator, a couple new players, we got a new quarterback, we got a new gray battleship jersey, yay us. It's more than that. It's a mindset of quit, and the reason for it. It's not going to work. This happens every time. Here we go again. I've already seen this story. I read this book. I know the ending. That kind of a thing. And it might even be subconscious. But as long as they're here, it might not be able to be taken care of, to be rooted out. And that's the kind of thing you have to figure that that's what this year really is. Maybe even more so than Aaron Glenn thought it would be. Look, of course, you're coming here. You had a team that won 5 games. You're getting rid of Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams and C.J. Mosley and Solomon Thomas and all the other guys that were leaders on this team. And you're starting fresh. You're bringing in a new offensive system. First-time coordinator on the offense. Couple that with a quarterback who's never played here before. And even though he's going into his 5th year, and he played well last year, considering he's had an up and down season at best, or a career at best. This is a guy who's playing for his career. Am I just a professional backup, or am I a starter in this league? And nobody's story is necessarily written long term. You look at Geno Smith; he was in the league 9 years before he figured it out. So you never know. But as far as right now, this is Justin Fields' team. He has a shot right here. You put him back with Garrett Wilson and Jeremy Ruckert and Myers. Got some familiarity. a young offensive coordinator, you got a new young tight end, you got a great running back group, the whole thing. This is it, buddy. This is your chance to say, I'm a starter in the NFL. And, this is it. But you might be finding out that he can't do it. And that's what it is. Is Justin Fields, he's a bridge quarterback, unless you luckily catch lightning in a bottle. And we know this. I think a lot of Jets fans, in our yearly excitement thing that we do, of course, by the time the season opens up, we get all excited. We want to believe again. Great. That's great. But I think we believed a little bit too much. Really, truth be told, this is kind of where I was. It's like, look, it's a smart move. If you're going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers, there's no real, you don't want to trade up, to trade the future to trade up for Cam Ward or somebody. So you get the best possible option. He's a vet quarterback, still young, strong arm, great legs, nice butt. You know what I mean? Like, you put him in there, you take a shot. But by and large, more than likely, it's going to be what you see, which is a bridge quarterback getting you to the next draft where there's a lot more, theoretically, there seems to be a lot more potential quarterbacks coming in to the league that you can get your pick of. So you do that. It's an evaluation year for him. It's an evaluation year for a lot of guys. But man, I think it's even bigger than that. It's a bigger job than that. So Aaron Glenn's finding that out. And I think when you remove the emotions of it all, you gotta just push it all back and say, look, man, doesn't look like we're going to be able to make the playoffs this year. No 0-5 team has ever done it. As a matter of fact, I mentioned it earlier, this is historic. You've heard it by now. I know you have. If you haven't, I'll tell you, we're the first 0-5 team in NFL history, or the first team in 5 weeks, to not be able to, dude, we haven't gotten one single takeaway. We haven't fallen on a fumble. We haven't gotten an interception. That includes special teams, whatever. We have not had a single turnover. We are -8, I think it is. It might be 9. We are at least -8 in the turnover differential. -8. Means we've given the ball away 8 times, and we haven't gotten it once. History. Dude, we find ways to break records that we didn't even know could be broken. Aaron Glenn is now, he's the first coach in Jets history to start his career 0-5. Dude, is this not crazy to you? Think of how bad, it's like that stat that I bring up all the time, that as bad as we've been, we are perpetually with the group of teams that are the top 5 in the draft. And sometimes we might be 7th or whatever, 11, 10, but we're in the early part of the draft. We're a part of the teams that suck, and we're always in the group, whether the Browns are there, the Jags are there, the Cardinals might be there. The Panthers have been there. The Bears. They're always up there. We're always up there with them. But we have not found a way to have that number 1 overall pick, which you can use to get the quarterback, the top gem of the draft, or is a beautiful trade piece. There's always somebody wanting to trade up to the number 1 pick. And if it's a quarterback-rich draft with a guy like, look, that year when it was Trevor Lawrence, right? I mean, shit, the team behind us at 3, they got 3 firsts and a third just to get up to 3. And that was to pick the 3rd quarterback. The year we traded up for Sam, we went from 6 to 3, 3 picks, 3 slots, and we gave 3 second-round picks, right? So we have not figured out a way to have the first overall pick since 1997, man. That's almost 30 years, and we've sucked pretty much. Can we just say the lion's share of that time? Most of it. The same thing. All the Jets teams, all the bad teams we've had, all the shit we've endured, we've never seen a coach go 0-5. Here he is, Aaron Glenn. And the crazy thing about it, when I look at guys like Kotite, like Adam Gase, I just never would have thought, Aaron Glenn, who, again, we can go back and talk about who we wanted and who we didn't want and all this kind of stuff. Look, I love Aaron Glenn. I'm rooting for Aaron Glenn. I support Aaron Glenn. But the truth is, I didn't want Aaron Glenn for one reason. It's the same cycle that we've been doing for the entire time, which is go out and hire a rookie head coach from the defensive side of the ball, couple him with a rookie general manager, let him bring in a rookie offensive coordinator. The only thing that we did different was we didn't immediately attach him to a rookie quarterback. It's like, how many times are we going to do this? How many? I'm surprised the Jets didn't trade up for Cam Ward and just get the whole thing going. Rookies all over the place. And then we wonder, why are they making these mistakes? Why haven't they figured it out? Well, I don't know. Maybe because they never did this before. So anyway, I'm just surprised. You think about all the pain of our history, and we've never been here before. It's crazy. And to think, no 0-5 team has ever not had a single turnover before? Really? Us? I'm telling you, I think we should go 0-17. I really do. I think it's time. We got to get this off our shoulder. This bugaboo, this lingering stat. We've never had a season where we didn't win a single game. Let's get it done. Let's get it going and do it already. This way we know we'll get the number 1 pick. Did the Titans win? I don't even know. I got to look. I know that the Saints beat the Giants, so there's one less. If we just stay the course, but you know what we'll do? This is like with Adam Gase's last year when we went 2-15. We were 0-5. That has to be start his career. The first year. That's what it was. But anyway, we had no wins. Like all the way through the season, we were fighting for Trevor Lawrence. And then what happened? We play the Rams and we win a game. Stupid. Braden Mann makes the tackle and the whole thing. And then what did the Jags do? All of a sudden we flipped. We were fighting with the Jags. We were number 1. They were number 2. The second that happened, they benched Minshew. They benched all their players that could help them win. They said, nope, we're going to play everybody else. They knew how to tank. And they got themselves the quarterback that they wanted. Now, people can argue one way or the other. He's not what he was supposed to be, blah, blah, blah. Trevor Lawrence is better than every quarterback we've had here. Maybe not Aaron Rodgers, of course, but the way he played here, for sure. So who knows? But anywho, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get into all that. But anyway, if we do go 0-7, what should we do? If we're halfway through the season and we haven't won, or we won one game, playoffs are clearly out, and you know you're just not going to have a good record at all, what do? Do you fire sale? Let's take a look at it in the Intelligent Gripe. All right, so we talk about this. We look at it objectively. I'm not whining. I'm not complaining. I'm not jumping off a bridge or a cliff or anything like that. We're just taking a look. Say, look, we are 5 games into this thing, and we don't have a victory. We don't even have a takeaway. No turnovers in our favor yet. Got lots of penalties. Which, by the way, the Jets missed a face mask. The refs missed a big face mask on Isaiah Davis today. Just to stack on top of things. But let's take a look at our roster and see who do you want to get rid of? And realistically, what kind of value would you get? And for maybe some guys that are cuspy, what kind of value would you have to see being presented to you to consider it? Let's take a look at this. So first we got our offense, okay? Let's take a look at our offense. You got Justin Fields at quarterback. Now let me ask you this. You got teams all over the league. I mean, shit, the 49ers are playing Mac Jones with Adrian Martinez. The Tony Alexio, Adrian Martinez package is over there in San Francisco. Maybe they'd be interested in Justin Fields. I mean, if there is a coach that could maximize the talents of one Justin Fields, it's definitely Kyle Shanahan. He's on that list. Maybe a McVay, I don't know. But Shanahan's way up top, might be at the top. Do you trade Justin Fields? Go with Tyrod Taylor and Brady Cook for the rest of the year? I mean, what do you? I don't know. What do you think? And if you do, what could you get for him? I don't know. I'd be open to it. If I'm 0-8 and the trade deadline's approaching and the Niners say, hey, look, we're willing to give you a 5th round pick for Justin Fields, maybe even a 4th. Let's say 5th. We'll give you a 5th round pick in this year's draft for Justin Fields. Now, if you don't know this, the Jets, currently we have, I think, 6 picks. We're looking at a couple potential comp picks. So 3 comp picks are coming. So maybe we got anywhere between 5 and 8 picks, in the draft this year. A lot of them way late, couple late 7ths and that kind of thing at the end of the draft, right before Mr. Irrelevant kind of a thing. Maybe a 5th. We have no 3rd. Maybe a 5th is would you do it? Would you do it? Justin Fields isn't your guy to take you there. Is he worth it? I'll be honest with you. I would say no. I would keep Justin Fields even next year as my backup. And if he needed to start before I throw my next year's rookie into the fire, maybe I let Justin Fields start a couple weeks if the kid doesn't look ready, that kind of a thing. I think his value's here much more than a 5th. Now, if they offered me a 3rd, I'd probably do it. I'd say I'll figure out the rest. I'll go into the rest of the season with Tyrod Taylor, Brady Cook. If I need to go to the scrap heap and find a quarterback, I can do that too. The season's already toast. It doesn't matter. Justin Fields, maybe. 3rd round pick gets it done. Anything else, I'm saying the value's not good enough for me. Breece Hall, he's a name that we hear all the time. Braylon Allen is now hurt. He's on IR. They said it's going to be, what'd they say, 8 weeks? He's gone for a long time, so we're without Braylon Allen. That leaves us a little thinner than we were when we were talking about Breece Hall trades and all that stuff. But the kid is playing. Again, in this game, he had 113 yards on the ground, 8.1 yard average, and another 42 yards in the air. He had that big, costly fumble, but it's par for the course. Breece has been playing pretty much like that the whole season. Buffalo didn't look so great, but who did? So Breece Hall, what does it take to get it done? Now, if you know you're not going to keep him next year, there's just no way. You're not going to pay Breece Hall, you're not going to keep him, then maybe you consider getting what you can get for him. Now, what would it be? What are teams going to offer for a running back like that? They know they're going to have to pay him. I don't know. I can't see. I think realistically you would see, if there's offers, if there's a trading partner, you're going to be looking at 4th round picks for Breece Hall. Realistically, I don't see higher than a 3rd for Breece Hall. It sucks because I think he's a premier back, and if he was on a team with a viable, true passing game, I think he's blowing up the league. I think he's among the better, the top rushers in the NFL. And I think that other teams would be able to utilize him a little bit better than we are. So, but here's what I think. I think you got to listen. If somebody comes and offers me a 2nd round pick, I'm probably taking it. But I'm going to say this. If I'm the Jets, I am probably going to try to keep Breece Hall next year. And I'll tell you, I might even franchise him for that 1 year. He's a baller, and he's a guy that you want to keep around. I know you can get running backs. I know, I get it. But I'm going to try. Now, again, if there's a 3rd or 2nd on the table, I have to consider it. We're thin. Isaiah Davis would then be catapulted into the starting running back role with Khalil Herbert, and you have Nwangu floating around back there. But he's out. He's injured. So what do you know what I mean? But again, the season's a wash. You're fire sailing. So what do you do? Again, I'm thinking I'm already starting to talk to Breece Hall's agent about next year, see what I can get done. Maybe a shorter extension, trying to see what I can do. And I might even do it now, guarantee him some money, that kind of a thing. If I'm getting a 2nd offered, which is unrealistic, I'm taking it. If there's a 3rd, I'm 50-50. If it's a 4th or lower, I'm probably just going to ride it out. So that's where I am. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this too. Give me your thoughts in the comments about all of these. Let's see where we are. Garrett Wilson. This is a big one. Garrett Wilson has been catapulted into my favorite Jet status. It's crazy because I don't own a jersey of his. My son does, but I don't. And it's a crazy thing because I'd love to buy his jersey and proudly walk around with it, but I'm not giving the Jets any more money. I know I could go to DH Gate and do that whole thing, but it's a thing. I'm not doing it. But Garrett Wilson, if he's on, again, let's just use him as an example, the Niners, if he's on the Chargers, if he's on Seattle with Sammy Boy, who crazy looked great, threw 4 touchdowns and threw that costly pick at the end to give them the series to kick the field goal and win it. Crazy stuff. But Sam's looking good. In Seattle, I think he'd be great. How about up there in Minnesota alongside Justin Jefferson? Imagine Justin Jefferson and Garrett Wilson together. It'd be unfair. Maybe put him in Pittsburgh with But anyway, I'm not trading Garrett Wilson. I know there's a growing sentiment we should trade Garrett Wilson just because it's the right thing to do for the kid. I get that too. I'm keeping Garrett Wilson at all costs. You'd have to offer me 2 firsts at minimum to get me to even start listening. If you're saying, hey, I'll give you a first and a third. Nope, I'm not even listening. I'll hear the call, of course. But Garrett Wilson is staying. 2 firsts. Josh Reynolds, he's gone. You're not getting anything for him. You take anything. If somebody offers you a 6th, a 7th, you take it for Josh Reynolds. Arian Smith, you're not going to get an offer, but you don't take one anyway. Mason Taylor's, you're not going to take an offer for him either. Andrew Beck, you're not going to get an offer for. I would take anything for him. You got that touchdown today, or was it a 2-point? I think it was a touchdown. Good for him. John Simpson, I don't know. If somebody wants to trade me for Josh Simpson, I'm taking it. What are you going to get? Although I do want to keep the line together. I think the more they play together, the better. You want to try to do that. A Tippmann, I'm not taking anything for. Josh Myers, you can't this year, but I would. I mean, think of it. If somebody wants to give you like a 5th or 6th for Josh Myers, it's not happening. But if they do, you take it. You move Tippmann over to center and you throw in somebody at guard. I mean, could it be any worse? I don't know. I'm not trading Tippmann. I'm not trading Membu. I'm not really trading any of the offensive line, I don't think. If they come in on the back end, I mean, look, we got the backups too. Tyrod Taylor, Isaiah Davis, Allen Lazard. Somebody wants to offer me something for Allen Lazard, I'm taking it. You want to offer me something for Tyler Johnson, I'm taking it. I don't care what it is. You want to give me a 7th for Tyler Johnson, I'm taking it. I bump up Brandon Smith, which, by the way, I don't know why they're not doing that anyway. I don't get it. But so that's the offense. So basically, you got Justin Fields, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson. That's basically it. And again, any of the other guys, just low level, 6th, 7th. Yeah, I'm taking anything for anybody I can. Now, the defense is interesting. Because you got guys that are players, but are they the players for Aaron Glenn's team? That's what we got to ask ourselves. Will McDonald, 1st-round pick, premier level potential pass rusher, comes up real hot sometimes and has really kind of fizzled for the most part. Had that amazing blocked field goal, yes. He's got pressures, but he has the first 2, the first game he had the 2 sacks, looked great. And he's not really able to take over the game like you want somebody to, especially when a guy like Jermaine Johnson is hurt. You need your big names to step up, and he's not really able to do that until this point. So if somebody says, hey, we'll give you a 1st-round pick for Will McDonald, do you take it? Somebody says a 2nd-round pick. Let's say they offer you a 2nd and a 7th-round pick for Will McDonald. You say, on our defense, we got some real studs that we're in need of a big-time pass rusher, a specialist. And we'd love to give you a 2nd and a 7th, a 2nd this year and a 7th the following year. Do you take it? Then you got Braden McGregor and Tyler Barron stepping in the rest of the year. Do you take it? Do you consider it? Will McDonald? I'm going to say no. You got to have some pieces for the team. Harrison Phillips, we just traded for him. You got him for next year as well. I'm keeping him Unless you're going to make money on the deal, like you gave away a sixth. And so you got Harrison Phillips and a seventh, and you gave away a sixth. So if somebody comes in and says, hey, man, we'll give you a fifth so you can make money on the deal, maybe you consider it. Or you think Harrison Phillips is, a key piece to the line that you want to build. Okay, fine. But this is chump change land. Jawan Briggs, I'm not trading Jawan Briggs. He's young guy, super cheap. What are you going to get? Tufeli, you want to offer me anything, I'm taking it on for Tufeli. LT3, he's an interesting one, but, he was out today. I don't know what happened there. Jermaine Johnson, nobody's going to offer anything because he's been hurt. He's played 2 games in the last, 19? So I don't know what, there's nothing there. And I don't want to trade a guy like JJ, but man, this is tough. You got to see if this guy can come back. He's got to rebuild his name, his career, because he's got nothing cooking. Again, went out game 2 in 2025 or 24, lost for the season, played 2 games or a game and a half this year. And he's been out since. He's been out 3 straight games. So, what is it? Nobody's going to offer anything. Now, I'm going to tell you this. If they came in and offered 2 bags of potato chips for Michael Clemens, I'm giving it. Michael Clemens, he's surprised. As bad as we knew he was playing, I am truly surprised by how bad he is. When you focus and you just key on Michael Clemens, you'll see it. He is a complete train wreck. I've never seen anything like it. This bad. You never see it this bad because I haven't seen a player, especially particularly on the edge, play this bad because he's playing so many snaps. He's playing so many snaps. We get so much time to look at him, so many examples. That I haven't seen a player play that bad for this long consistently. It was like watching Zach Wilson. You never see a quarterback play this bad for this long because they get benched. We didn't have anybody. Remember Robert Saleh came out that time? He said, Zach gives us the best chance to win. And everybody said, oh, Saleh's an idiot. I'm like, I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing I ain't got shit behind them. That's what I'm hearing. There's nobody else here, which is becoming a problem, quite frankly. So Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, again, I'll take anything for any of these guys, right? Somebody wants to come and offer you something for Braden McGregor, you take it, right? Any of those guys. How about Sherwood? Got paid this year. I think what we're seeing with Jamie and Sherwood, because he was the surest tackler on the team the last 2 years, I think what you're seeing is twofold. One, it's a brand new defense, right? He's got to learn. Saleh's defense was very, very different than this one. And I think the second part to that is you add to that he's for the first time the centerpiece. He's the captain, so to speak, of the defense. And he might not be that guy. So either way, even if he is that guy, doing all that, just shifting into all that this year seems like it's taking a little bit longer for him to come around and kind of digest all that than maybe we'd like. So, but if somebody comes in and offers you something for Sherwood, do you take it? I do. Depends on what it is. You don't want to give them away per se. But guys like Kiko Mwanga, look, it's new. He's young. It's early. But I don't see the thunder. I don't see, even with Sherwood, when he was young, he would come in for 2 or 3 plays in spot duty for CJ, and you saw the impact. You saw it. You saw that he was a player. I'm not really feeling that with Kiko yet. So again, it's early in his career. I'm not labeling him anything, but I'm not excited about him like I was for Sherwood or early on. Not his first year because he had the Achilles, but the second, third year, really, I was excited about Sherwood. But I don't know. If somebody comes in and offers you a mid-round pick, a 4th for Sherwood, you get the money off the books. You kind of get to play, to push reset on your middle linebacker. I'd consider it. And I like Sherwood. I'm not excited about his play this year thus far, but I do. I like Sherwood. He's not that animal middle linebacker that I genuinely and typically like. But, we'll see. I'd be open to it. Cam Jones, whatever. Somebody wants, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? But it's not happening. Now, Quincy, he's on IR for the rest of the year, so it is what it is. I don't know how long he's on IR. But I'm going to tell you something. Quincy Williams, to me, I like Quincy. And when he's playing well, he's really good. He's way too inconsistent for me. And that to me means that I don't really need him. I would let him go this year anyway. So if I could get something for him, like if he comes back and he plays a couple of games and somebody wants to give you something, I'm taking it. And that might piss off a guy that I skipped on the defensive line, not on purpose, just because it happened. And we'll get to him now, which is Quinnen Williams. It might piss Quinnen off. I mean, look, they've been playing together for a number of years now. They probably want to keep that going. And maybe if we trade his brother midseason, he might take that wrong. Who knows? But either way, the Quinnen Williams thing is a big one. Quinnen Williams is a stud, okay? Quinnen Williams is routinely among the top defensive tackles in the league. He draws a lot of double teams. He's a very good player, but he's never going to be Aaron Donald. It's just he's not on that tier. People like to think that he could be. I was hopeful that he would be, and for a minute there, it almost looked like he had that potential. I don't think it's ever going to come around the mountain to that level, but he's damn good. Is Quinnen important enough to the team that if somebody offers you a first-round pick for him, which they should be a first, and I know what people say, maybe, look, if it's a second and some change, do you consider it? I'm going to tell you, Quinnen, up until Garrett Wilson just pushed him off the pedestal, has been my favorite Jet for the last couple of years. I love Quinnen Williams. I love the person. I love the player. I just love Quinnen. I would definitely consider getting something for Quinnen Williams. Definitely. I'm not going to offload him for cheap. I'm not looking to get rid of him necessarily. I'm happy to have him. Delighted. But if somebody's offering me a first-round pick, it would, one of the teams that are going to go deep into the playoffs, that they know their pick's going to be in the late 20s, early 30s, that kind of a team, I would take it. And if it's a second-round pick, you got to give me a second and some change, second and a fourth, something like that. I'm telling you, I might consider. I would think real hard about it. Because I'm looking to build this team. I'm looking to reshape this team and shed some of the old thinking and just kind of freshen it up. I need picks to do that. I need picks and I need money. If I can get a first round pick or a second and a third or second and a fourth for Quinnen Williams and offload the money, so that gives me money and it gives me the picks, I'm going to consider it. Breaks my heart. Really does. Now, all the other guys on the defensive backfield, you're not going to get anything for any of them except for two guys. Michael Carter II, he's hurt again, so I don't know. But a team might be interested in him. If he comes back and he plays healthy, he was among the best nickel corners in the entire NFL before his injury. There was a reason that he got paid, and let me tell you something. I was a big supporter of him getting paid. Has not been the same since that happened. Could be the injury, could be I don't know, could be lots of things. Doesn't look like the same player. Maybe a change of scenery is what he needs. Look at Brandon Eccles for the Steelers. Look at DJ Reed over in they're thriving, right, for the Lions. Maybe, just maybe. What do you get from Michael Carter? What do you get? What do you take? Can you get a fifth-round pick from Michael Carter? Can you get a sixth? I think it would probably be in that sixth-round range, maybe even pick swap. You get a sixth, you give a seventh, that kind of a thing. You get a fifth, you give a sixth, something like that. I got to see what we have. I mean, how many fucking sixth-round picks can we possibly have? I got to look at that. But I would definitely be willing to move Michael Carter. Sauce Gardner is an interesting one because he is one of the best cover corners in the NFL. The last couple of weeks, he's been burned for a touchdown. He's getting called for more penalties. I think teams still know who he is. I think teams would still be excited about him. If somebody's calling, what do they have to give you? You're not going to just dump him for cheap. You're not looking to get rid of a Sauce Gardner. But what would it take? And would Aaron Glenn, you think, be willing to listen? Would he be willing to offload Sauce Gardner? I think he would. And if you could get, a singular first-round pick. Remember, Sauce was the 4th overall pick. He's got 2 All-Pros under his belt. He's got defensive rookie under the year under his belt. Last year, he was the top 5 corner in the NFL, and that was a down year. This year, it's interesting. He plays really well, but he gets burned for the touchdown. He's tackling much better. All that. I don't know. What do you need to dump Sauce Gardner? He just got paid. He's the highest paid cornerback in the NFL, least average per year. What does it take? And what's somebody willing to do? Are they willing to give you a first and change? Because a first, he's already guaranteed to be you know what you're getting with him. First is always a crapshoot. A pick is always a crapshoot. I don't know. I'm real curious. That's the one I want you to answer most. What would it take for you to trade Sauce Gardner? Realistically. Not like, I hate him, get him out of here, just dump the money. Realistically, you got an asset here. He's one of the best cornerbacks in the league. He's the highest paid cornerback in the league. He's tackling really well. He's a great cover cornerback. Even if he is playing spotty right now, teams know what he is. What would it take from your perspective? And what do you think Aaron Glenn's opinion of him is at the trade deadline? I'm real curious. You trading Nick Folk? I'm not trading that punter. You got to give me a first-round pick for that guy. I'll tell you that. That's for sure. The return men. What are they? But nobody knows. Nobody knows. That is what it is. But there you go. So the big ones, like Justin Fields could have some value. Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, they have the value. I don't see any of the offensive linemen going. But Will McDonald, Quinnen Williams, maybe the linebackers, Michael Carter, and Sauce Gardner. That's really who you're looking at. Now, can you see a world where you get rid of all of them? You just get the picks, you dump all the money. Could you imagine the Jets getting realistically, you get a 6th for Justin Fields, you get a 4th for Breece Hall, you get a 1st and a 3rd for Garrett Wilson, you get I don't know, man, a 1st for Quinnen, a 6th for Jamie Sherwood, a 1st for Sauce Gardner. Can you imagine a world where we just say screw it? You start stockpiling. We're the worst team in the league. You get the 1st overall pick. You got 3 more and some 2nds and 3rds and all that kind of shit. Then you trade back with the 1st. You get a couple more. You trade back to pick 4. You get next year's 1st, another 2nd. You know what I mean? You could do this. And you're starting with $120 million in cap space. I don't know. What do you think? Is the fire sale in order? Nothing's in stone right now. We could go to London and shellac the Broncos and come back all excited and then beat the Panthers. Who knows, right? But let me know what you think about this one. Who you willing to get rid of? What's it going to take? I'm going to read the comments. I'm going to have this conversation with you. I'm genuinely curious. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget about the amazing offer from Sleeper. Use the promo code GreenBean. The link's in the description of the video to get your up to $100 match on your first deposit when you download the Sleeper app, and they're going to add that $20 bonus to the party. Take advantage of it. Promo code GreenBean. With that all said, guys, have a great Monday. Have a great rest of the week. Don't let the Jets steal too much of your joy. And as always, go Jets! Yeah!